men who have now won a penalty shootout at Croke Park, including their All-Ireland winning captain Aidan Forker, who's with us now. Aidan, first of all, the scoring system. We heard Rian have a joke there saying about how his maths isn't the best, so he was struggling looking up there. But it's actually not that funny, is it, when you're out there?
No, Rian was actually shouting at me saying, Aidan, what's the score? So he was looking a bit of feedback on that towards the end of the game. But yeah, it was definitely hard. Even that last play, we felt we probably played it wrong in terms of dropping men back and inviting that two-pointer, which we weren't 100% sure on the total because it is so fast and the scores are going over quite quickly. Yeah, and trying to think clearly in that moment. So no, it probably needs to be totals on the scoreboard just for players because it is so dynamic and so quick.
You'd imagine that is a fairly straightforward tweak. Now, there's been largely positivity coming from this side of things and these new rules, but many defenders have some issues with it because they think it is very much so forward orientated. What do you think?
Yeah, it's absolutely forward orientated. You're a wee bit exposed there for another wee while, more than usual. It is a wee bit more difficult to try and get that sweeper in place or an extra player back. Yeah, I'm not unlike, to be honest, most of the ball there tonight I think was run as well. So I'm not 100% sure if the 3 up add to it. Structurally it looks good, but I'm not entirely sure if it adds to it really. But there's probably a couple there you would tweak as well. I'm not convinced on the 40-metre arc for the goalkeeper. I think you're trying to. I know it adds more contest out the middle, but I'm not 100% sure if it adds to the skill of the game, and that's sort of what we're after, is it not?
Aidan, was that something you specifically work on? You could see a difference tonight that you ran the ball out of the defence rather than looking for that early kick pass. You played a stronger running game. What changed over the 2 nights? What did you speak about between?
I think last night was very manic because everyone thinks it's going to be a kicking game and that's what they're after, so you have to kick every game. So I think tonight was much more what it probably will be like if they do come in for the league, to be honest. But listen, it'll take a bit of coaching. We don't have much contact time there. It was just a case of trying to just simplify it a wee bit, get your matchups right, and try and I feel like the scores maybe a bit heavily weighted to the goals, to be honest with you. I think if you concede a point, it doesn't feel that heavy on you, and a 4 feels quite heavy. So
is that a bad thing, Aidan, are you saying?
To me, even a 3-2-1 would be good. I think the 2-point arc is nice. I think it's good. I think it adds to it. But I think goal feels quite heavy, and it can knock you. And I think if teams will set up to not concede goals, because I think if you concede 2 or 3 goals in a game, you're going to struggle to win the game.
But Aidan, teams found it hard to get sweepers back in there tonight. They didn't appear to be worried about conceding the 4 points. Was that because of the being able to score 2 points from the outside arc?
No, it was because we didn't have much contact time to talk about that, to be honest with you. So I think managers will be quite wary of conceding goals. So I think you'll be coached very much to try and negate goal chances, and you might concede. If you look at the stats, that 40-metre arc is probably a 50% zone at best. So you might concede 4 or 5. I think last night, they shot the lights out, to be fair to them, but I don't think that's as worrying as conceding.
And the other criticism that many had from last night was the lack of physicality in the game. Would you concur with that?
Yeah, well, I would definitely concur. It's hard to get contact on. The ball's moving so fast, and listen, you can't put them rules in and then want contact when you're going to get a lot of bodies in the middle because the ball's gone out long. I don't think that adds to it too much, because just, to be honest with you, you're just fighting for back ball, and maybe the traditionalists like that, but I think even if you're able to play 2 up instead of 3, you're definitely going to get more contact on because there's more bodies in that half of the field or in that defensive arc that you might say. So you might have the opportunity to put a bit more contact on.
And you don't think any of that is down to what you were mentioning earlier, the fact that you had so little time together? You've obviously only had a short amount of time to work on these rules, and they've been being tweaked all along the way as well. Does that come into it from the lack of contests that are about the field?
Yeah, even defending the kick out, I think you learned more from last night and tonight, and to try and block off those pockets for be exposed to the long one. So you're finding out more and more off all the time. You can even see over 2 nights boys knew about their discipline and stuff like that. So, and the 3 up is definitely more self-placed, and as the boys got to know each other, we were able to communicate that better. So, listen, I don't think you'll know much about it until it's properly coached and we get a bit of time at it for the league if they do come in.
And I teach with your brother; he's a maths teacher, so I'll get him to have a wee word with you with the new scoring format as well moving forward.
Aidan, just from a player's perspective, would the players favour the pre-season competitions to be brought back in to allow a bit of time to work on these rules and develop a bit of structure about it?
Well, I think the GPA did do a survey and, was unanimously against. But, ordinarily it probably wouldn't have suited us years ago with Armagh, because we were carrying smaller panels and, you run the risk of maybe injuries and stuff like that. But I think it would suit us now because we have a big panel and those competitive games, were useful for us over the last couple of years. So I think it's a very individual counties and what if it suits them or not. So I think it's hard if you put out a survey. You're always going to vote as a GPA member to suit your own county. So I'm not sure the validity of that type of thing in terms of getting those results. So. And I know it's obviously impacting the provincial, Ulster Council and stuff in terms of their income. So there's a lot of things to be factored in.
Aidan, can I just say that's first of all extraordinarily honest, and it's very good of you to come on and say that you have a man you know quite well standing beside you there in Martin. Is there anything you would ask of the referees?
No, we were in with Martin last Saturday, and it was a lot for you to get your head around too, and we did ask you a few funny questions just to clarify. And listen, I found, especially over the last year, the referees are very approachable, and I suppose if you go to them with the right approach, but I think it's only a good thing. David tonight was chatting away, and that idea of respect to referees and talking to them the right way, it only bodes well in terms of as long as you're explained. I'm happy to know what I've done wrong if I'm told. Do you know what I mean?
Just an unintended consequence of this weekend, we've the open mic, which obviously was never part of the FRC. What's your opinion on that? It seems to be quite positive after last night, but what's your own as a player's point of view? I
think it's a very good thing. Yes, for the spectator, but also for just clarity around, keeping everyone clear on the decision making around what you're doing. But it's what I would say is another thing. It's a big pressure on amateur referees who are amateurs. To me, we should be pushing for potentially professional referees. We put a lot of time into it for decisions to be made. And to me, referees need to be they are held accountable, but if they're professional and they could run all the schools competitions and they could train referees and incentivise more referees, to me that would be an obvious way to go in terms of, I know it's an amateur sport, but there's so much at stake in these big games. To me, they do a great job, but it could be even more professional.
Really well said, and you can find that other Armagh man in there who's currently the boss and have a little word with him. But for now, Aidan, you've been so good with your time. Great insight there as well. Aidan Forker, the Armagh All-Ireland winning captain. Thank you very much for being with us.